Echoes from the quantum horizon. The universe was full of mysteries, but none were as strange as the quantum horizon. It was not a place made of matter, light, or gravity. It was a boundary where reality bent, where particles forgot their positions, and where time behaved like a restless tide. Many scientists had tried to describe it, but only one thing was clear. The quantum horizon was alive with patterns that no one understood. For centuries, the horizon had remained silent. But everything changed when faint signals began to echo from its shifting surface. These signals were not like normal waves. They sounded like whispers, like fractured memories, like voices that came from impossible futures. When humanity first detected them, no one believed they were real. But soon the echoes grew stronger, and the world realized the quantum horizon was calling out. Dr. Lyra Vance, a physicist known for her calm and careful work, was the first to decode the strange patterns. She never wanted fame. She only wanted to understand. But when she realized the signals were not random, her life changed. The echoes formed a message, and the message was directed at humanity. It carried warnings, questions, and glimpses of things beyond imagination. No one knew why the horizon had awakened. No one knew who, or what, sent the messages. But as the echoes spread across the solar system, a team of explorers was formed to travel toward the quantum horizon. They were told that understanding the signals might determine the future of every human world. This is their story. A story of fear, discovery, and the thin line between reality and something far beyond it. Dr. Lyra Vance sat alone in the observatory chamber on Station Arc 5, a rotating research station halfway between Earth and Mars. Screens floated around her like hanging windows, each filled with shifting graphs and bright dots. She rubbed her eyes, refusing to blink, because she feared the moment she looked away, the echo would disappear. For weeks, she had listened to the faint noise coming from the quantum horizon. It was supposed to be normal background radiation. Every book said so. Every scientist said so. And yet Lyra felt something strange hidden beneath the noise, like a forgotten melody. Tonight, the melody finally revealed itself. A sudden pulse appeared on the screen. It was soft but clear. It rose and fell like a heartbeat. For several seconds Lyra could only stare. Then she leaned forward, her breath shaky. "This isn't random," she whispered. Her fingers flew across the controls, slowing down the signal, stretching it into a shape her instruments could read. When the pattern displayed itself, she froze. It repeated every 6 to 2 seconds. A perfect cycle. A perfect echo. "Someone is sending this," she said softly. The station lights dimmed as the computers processed her discovery. Data streams filled the room with a low hum. Lyra felt something tighten inside her. It wasn't fear. It was all mixed with a strange sense of recognition. As though the echo had always been meant for her. She pressed the recording button and spoke into the console. "Log entry. The quantum horizon has generated a repeating signal. It resembles a structured sequence. Possible communication." She paused, looking again at the perfect curve on her screen. "No, not just possible. It is communication." 2 days later, Lyra stood in the Grand Hall of the Interplanetary Science Council. Tall screens formed a circle around her, showing the faces of representatives from Earth, Mars, the lunar belt, and the outer colonies. They all watched her in silence. "Dr. Vance," Chairwoman Imani said, "explain to us again what you found." Lyra took a slow breath. "The quantum horizon is producing structured echoes. They repeat every 6 to 2 seconds. The patterns are not natural. They are mathematical, layered, and deliberate." A man from the Mars delegation leaned forward. "Are you saying the horizon is transmitting messages?" "Yes," Lyra answered. "And the messages appear to contain instructions." A murmur spread through the hall. "Instructions for what?" another voice asked. Lyra shook her head. "I haven't decoded them fully. But the echoes resemble data compression patterns. They may be guiding us towards something. Or warning us about something." Chairwoman Imani narrowed her eyes. "You believe these echoes have purpose?" "I do. And they may come from beyond the horizon." This time the hall erupted in noise. Representatives whispered, argued, or stared in disbelief. "Beyond the horizon? Nothing exists beyond it. That is only theory. This could be dangerous." Chairwoman Imani raised her hand, and silence returned. "Dr. Vance," she said calmly, "what do you think the horizon wants?" Lyra hesitated. The truth felt heavy on her tongue. It wants us to come closer, she said quietly. It wants us to cross the boundary. The hall grew cold. For the first time in centuries, humanity faced an invitation from the unknown. Within a month, a special team was assembled. They were chosen not just for skill, but for their ability to stay calm when facing the impossible. Dr. Lyra Vance, quantum physicist, leader of the mission, calm, precise, and driven by curiosity. Captain Orion Hale, navigator, a veteran pilot who had flown through wormholes and nebula storms without blinking. Myra Solis, linguist and signal specialist, expert in alien patterns and unknown languages. She could find meaning in chaos. Dr. Jalen Rook, temporal theorist, a man obsessed with the flow of time. Some called him brilliant. Some called him unstable. Eno, artificial intelligence, a mobile AI with a holographic body and a gentle voice, programmed to detect anomalies and protect the crew. Their ship was named the Horizon Seeker, a sleek silver vessel equipped with the strongest shields and the newest quantum engines. It was designed for one purpose: to reach the quantum horizon and survive long enough to return with answers. Before departure, the crew gathered on the hangar platform. The ship stood behind them, glowing softly. Captain Orion Hale looked at his team. Once we cross the threshold, we'll be the closest humans have ever been to the foundation of reality, he said. No fear. No hesitation. We face this together. Lyra nodded. The echoes are growing stronger every day. Whatever is waiting for us, it's expecting us. Jalen Rook smirked. Or it wants to rewrite us. Myra rolled her eyes. Try not to sound excited about that. Eno's hologram flickered into view. I have calculated that there is a 36% chance Dr. Rook will attempt an unauthorized experiment during this mission. Recommendation: monitoring. Jalen held up his hands. Hey, I haven't even touched anything yet. The crew laughed softly, but beneath their smiles was tension. They all felt it, the pull of something vast and ancient waiting beyond the known. On the day of departure, the hangar doors opened, revealing the star-filled void. The Horizon Seeker drifted out like a silver arrow, engines glowing blue. Inside the cockpit, Captain Orion secured the final controls. Course set, he said. Travel time to the quantum horizon, 12 days. Lyra watched the stars stretch into long lines as the ship accelerated. Something inside her chest fluttered. Not fear. Something deeper, as though part of her had been waiting for this moment her entire life. Myra sat beside her, headphones on, listening to the ongoing echoes. It's strange, Myra said quietly. The closer we get, the more the signal changes. It keeps adjusting, like it knows we're moving. Maybe it's guiding us, Lyra said. Jalen leaned back in his chair. Or maybe it's testing us. Eno projected a small holographic map. Trajectory stable. Quantum fluctuations increasing by 3%. 3% seemed small, but everyone felt the shift. The air vibrated faintly. Shadows moved where there should be none. Time seemed to thicken and stretch. Captain Orion looked through the viewport. This region feels empty. Lyra nodded. Yes. Space shouldn't feel silent like this. It's as if the universe is holding its breath. For the next hours, the silence deepened. The stars outside flickered strangely, as though blinking out of existence. The crew moved slowly, speaking softly, afraid to disturb whatever held the region together. Then, sometime during the night cycle, the first strange event occurred. Myra gasped. The echo changed again. The screens lit up with a new pattern. Not random. Not simple. A shape formed on the display, something like a spinning ring. Lyra's heart raced. It's a map, she whispered. The horizon is drawing us an entry point. The crew stared at one another. They were being invited in. The Horizon Seeker approached the edge of the quantum horizon. Outside, space shimmered like a heat haze, and the stars bent around invisible currents. It was not a storm, not gravity, not light. It was something else entirely. Something that made every instinct in the crew scream that reality had changed. Lyra's hands hovered over the controls, though she knew she could not stop the inevitable. The echoes on Myra's console grew louder, forming a pattern she could almost hum. It was no longer just sound, it was vibration. A resonance that seemed to reach into the bones, into memory. Captain Orion spoke quietly. Prepare for boundary crossing. Shields at maximum. Engines steady. Eno's hologram flickered. Quantum anomalies ahead. Probability of stable entry, 6 to 4%.
Lyra swallowed.
6 to 4% was higher than she had expected, but that did not make it comforting.
She looked at Myra.
Can you keep decoding the echoes as we cross?
Myra nodded.
I think, yes.
They are almost readable now. Like a song.
Like a language made of patterns. As the Horizon Seeker moved forward, the space around them twisted. Lines of light bent, disappearing into darkness.
Shadows flickered where there was nothing to cast them.
Time itself slowed and stretched. Jalen's chair tilted slightly as if gravity had forgotten him. Boundary in 5 seconds, Captain Orion said.
Lyra held her breath.
For a moment, everything stopped. The ship, the stars, even the echoes themselves seemed to pause.
Then the horizon pulsed. It was like entering a new world.
The ship trembled violently, but shields held. The lights on the consoles danced in sync with the echoes. And then, almost suddenly, the trembling ceased. They were inside. The quantum horizon was no longer boundary. It was a vast expanse of shifting color and sound, a sea of impossible geometry. Stars floated in loops, and beams of light folded into themselves like ribbons. The echoes became clear, a melodic language that resonated directly in their minds. Lyra whispered, almost in awe, "We made it." The crew floated in the observation deck, eyes wide. Outside, nothing resembled anything known. Patterns shifted in 3 dimensions. Structures rose and fell, then disappeared. Light itself seemed alive. Myra placed her hands on the console. The echoes, they are showing us things. Past, present, future, maybe all at once. Suddenly, images flashed across the screens. Cities underwater, deserts blooming with forests, stars exploding and being born again. Lyra felt a strange connection, as if she had lived 1,000 lives she could not remember. Jalen leaned forward, his eyes glowing with excitement.
This is it.
The horizon is not just space, it's memory. The memory of the universe itself.
Memory, or warning, Lyra said cautiously. We need to be careful.
We don't know what is real and what isn't.
Eno projected a warning.
Quantum instability detected. Objects in the horizon are altering unpredictably. Probability of safe navigation decreasing.
Captain Orion nodded grimly. We proceed carefully.
No sudden moves. No experiments yet. And yet, even as he said it, the ship's sensors detected something else. A signal, different from the echoes, deeper, more deliberate.
It was almost like a heartbeat. Myra's voice trembled.
Someone, or something, is alive here. Days passed as the crew navigated the shifting expanse. The quantum horizon revealed more patterns, more messages.
Slowly, Myra began to decode the language. It was not like any human language.
It combined mathematics, light, and emotion. The messages were personal, addressing each crew member individually. Lyra received a message that filled her mind with clarity.
Do not fear.
We are memory. We are witness. You have crossed safely. The choice is yours. Jalen received a different one. Time bends. Choices ripple. Observe, but do not interfere. Even Captain Orion and Myra saw messages designed for them, revealing truths about their fears, their regrets, and their deepest desires. Then, a new presence emerged. A shape formed in the expanse outside. It was enormous, almost invisible, yet its presence was undeniable. A pattern of shimmering light moved in harmony with the echoes. Is that a life form? Myra asked. Lyra shook her head. Not like anything we know. But yes, it is aware of us. The entity projected its first message directly into their minds. Travelers, you have entered the memory of all. Observe, and you shall understand. But beware, the horizon tests the heart of those who seek it. Captain Orion's hand tightened on the console. We didn't come here to be judged. The entity pulsed, sending waves of energy through the ship. The crew felt visions again, memories not their own, moments from civilizations long gone, planets destroyed, and stars born. Eno analyzed the energy. This presence is sentient. Its perception of time is nonlinear. It may not understand our concept of life or death, yet it communicates in a way we can comprehend. Lyra closed her eyes. It's not trying to harm us. It's showing us everything. As the days passed, the quantum horizon grew unstable. Patterns twisted violently. Echoes accelerated, forming sequences too fast for Myra to decode. Suddenly, the ship's instruments detected an anomaly, a tear in the fabric of reality itself. "Captain, the horizon is reacting to us," Lyra said. "It's testing us."
Jalen's voice trembled. "Testing? How?"
"What does it want?" The entity's presence became overwhelming. In a sudden wave of energy, the ship was thrown into a vision where each crew member faced their deepest fear. Lyra saw a world where humanity had vanished. She heard whispers of regret, failure, and loss. Orion confronted a vision of the crew lost in the void, unable to return home. Myra faced a memory of languages she could never understand, voices she could never translate. Even Eno seemed to hesitate, caught in the vast awareness of the horizon. Then, the entity spoke again. "Only those who understand the weight of knowledge may proceed. Only those who accept what is, and what could be, may survive the horizon."
The ship trembled violently.
Lights flickered.
The echoes became deafening. Lyra knew what she had to do. She placed her hand on Myra's console and spoke aloud.
"We accept. We accept the knowledge, the responsibility, and the unknown."
The ship stabilized. The visions faded, leaving the crew shaken but intact.
The quantum horizon pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat of approval after surviving the test. The crew of the Horizon Seeker realized that they had crossed a threshold far beyond ordinary space. The quantum horizon was no longer just a strange boundary. It was a vast, living repository of all existence, stretching across time and memory. Patterns of light moved like ribbons in every direction, creating spirals and loops that seemed to fold reality upon itself. The echoes had become a symphony, harmonizing directly with the ship's instruments and the crew's thoughts.
Lyra stared at the viewports. "It's beautiful. And terrifying."
"The universe is more alive than we ever imagined."
Myra nodded, scanning the signals.
"And every fragment of it carries knowledge. The horizon contains histories of worlds we never knew existed. Civilizations we never dreamed of."
Captain Orion spoke with determination. "Our mission is to explore. But we must also document everything.
If this is the memory of all, humanity cannot ignore it." Eno projected a three-dimensional map of the area.
The quantum horizon appears semi-structured. There are regions where the echoes converge into stable zones.
"Those zones may be safe for extended study."
"Then we go there," Lyra said.
"Carefully, but we go." As the Horizon Seeker moved into a stable region, the crew noticed something extraordinary. Among the patterns of light and memory, a solid object appeared, floating in the shifting void. It was small, metallic, and perfectly preserved, despite the strange environment.
Myra reached out with a manipulator arm. "It's an artifact.
Something ancient." Lyra examined the readings.
"It doesn't match anything we know. No human origin."
"Perhaps it comes from another civilization, or something beyond civilization entirely." The artifact pulsed with a faint energy, in harmony with the echoes around them. When Lyra touched it, images flooded her mind. Star systems forming, planets burning, civilizations rising and falling.
The artifact carried knowledge, memories, and warnings. "This is incredible," Jalen whispered. "The horizon isn't just a repository.
It's a library, and this is one of its books."
Captain Orion frowned.
"But whose book? And why is it here, floating in this chaos?"
Eno analyzed the artifact. "Unknown origin. Energy signature suggests a sentient source.
Artifact appears to communicate directly through quantum resonance."
Myra tilted her head.
"It's like it wants us to learn something. But what?" Over the next hours, Myra worked tirelessly to decode the artifact's resonance. The echoes pulsed in a new pattern, almost like a heartbeat. Slowly, the message became clear. All civilizations are echoes. Every choice, every memory, every thought contributes to the greater pattern. Those who understand the patterns may guide the future. Those who ignore them become lost in the void.
Lyra felt a chill. "It's warning us. The horizon isn't just a memory.
It's a test for anyone who enters."
Jalen frowned. "A test? We passed one already."
"What's next?" Captain Orion tightened his grip on the console.
"We proceed carefully.
This artifact may hold answers, but it may also hold danger. The horizon isn't forgiving." The artifact pulsed again, and this time, a holographic projection emerged. A three-dimensional figure appeared, composed entirely of shifting light patterns. It looked at the crew with what could only be described as awareness. "Travelers," it said, its voice resonating in every mind simultaneously, "you have crossed the threshold of the quantum horizon. You have witnessed memory. You have survived fear. Now, you must choose, explore further and risk what you cannot imagine, or return with what you have learned." Lyra exchanged a glance with the others. "We came here to understand. We can't turn back now." The figure shimmered. "Very well. But know this, deeper truths may challenge the essence of who you are. The horizon preserves memory, but it does not protect identity. Proceed with caution." As they moved deeper, the Horizon Seeker entered a region where space itself seemed fractured. Stars looped backward, and the echoes accelerated into a chaotic symphony. Suddenly, Jalen detected a strange anomaly. "Captain, we're entering a temporal shard. Time here is unstable. Minutes may pass as hours, or hours as seconds." Lyra frowned. "This must be part of the Horizon's design. It's testing how we perceive time. If we panic, we could destroy the ship, or ourselves." Eno projected the readings. Structural integrity at 97%. Probability of safe passage through the shard, 4 to 9%. Captain Orion gritted his teeth. "We have no choice. Full manual control. Steady the ship." The crew worked in tense coordination as the ship drifted through the temporal shard. Colors shifted, shapes twisted, and echoes overlapped in layers that made no sense. Yet, amid the chaos, Myra began deciphering a pattern, a sequence of quantum pulses that hinted at a stable path. "Follow the resonance," she said. "It's guiding us. Trust it." Lyra placed her hand on the console, letting the pulses guide her. Slowly, the Horizon Seeker navigated the shard, twisting and turning through impossible angles of reality. Finally, they emerged on the other side. The ship trembled, but the environment stabilized. The echoes slowed, becoming rhythmic once more. Captain Orion exhaled. "Everyone okay?" The crew nodded, though the tension remained. Lyra looked out the viewport. Ahead, a massive structure floated in the void, a cathedral of light and memory, shimmering with quantum energy. Myra whispered, "The Horizon wants us to see this." Jalen swallowed hard. "This is beyond anything we could have imagined. The quantum horizon isn't just a memory bank. It's alive." Eno projected a warning. "Unknown energy readings. Structure may be sentient. Caution advised." Lyra felt a mixture of awe and fear. "We're standing at the edge of understanding itself. Whatever this structure is, it holds the next piece of the puzzle." The Horizon Seeker approached the massive, shimmering structure that Myra had called the Quantum Cathedral. It floated silently in the void, composed of light, energy, and impossible geometry. Surfaces twisted upon themselves, pillars of luminescence rose and fell like breathing towers. Lyra felt a shiver run down her spine. This is the core. Whatever the horizon is, this structure is central to it. Captain Orion tightened his grip on the controls. "Everyone, this is the moment we see what the horizon truly wants us to understand. Prepare for docking." Eno's hologram projected the approach path. Structural integrity of ship and surroundings suggests a soft entry is possible. Probability of success, 7 to 2%. Myra whispered, almost to herself, "It's beautiful and alive. I can feel it communicating." As the Seeker moved closer, waves of light rippled outward from the cathedral. The echoes became clearer, almost musical. Every crew member felt the resonance in their minds, a direct communication beyond words. "Welcome," the cathedral seemed to say. "You have passed trials of fear, memory, and choice. You may now witness the memory of all that was, and all that will be." The ship docked at an entry point that shimmered like liquid crystal. The crew moved into the interior, stepping into a space that defied normal physics. There were no walls, no floors, only platforms suspended in the shifting light. Pathways appeared and vanished, and the echoes filled the void like whispers in a cathedral. Lyra reached out, touching one of the light pillars. Instantly, a vision filled her mind. A civilization on a distant planet, building machines that could manipulate time itself. The people were gone, vanished into the folds of history, but their knowledge remained. "This is incredible," she breathed. "The cathedral doesn't just record memory. It preserves knowledge, entire civilizations, entire possibilities." Myra examined the resonances around her. "It speaks differently to each of us. It's personal. It knows who we are. Jalen, always restless, wandered to another platform. Images of his past appeared, twisted into alternate versions of his life. It's showing me what could have been. Choices I never made, paths I never took. Eno warned, prolonged exposure to personal memory sequences may cause cognitive dissonance. Recommendation: proceed with caution.
Captain Orion called out. Focus on the mission.
Observe, learn, but don't get lost in it. We are explorers, not residents. After navigating through shifting platforms of light and memory, the crew reached the central core of the cathedral. It was a sphere of pure energy, surrounded by rotating rings of light that seemed to contain entire star systems within them. The echoes intensified, resonating like a choir of 1,000 voices. Lyra stepped closer. This is the heart of the horizon.
It's not just memory. It's consciousness.
It's aware of us.
Suddenly, the sphere pulsed.
The room was flooded with visions. Stars forming and collapsing, civilizations rising and falling, the flow of time itself bending and twisting. Each vision carried knowledge, wisdom, and warning. The cathedral spoke again, directly into their minds. You are witnesses.
You are travelers. You are not to interfere.
Knowledge is a gift and a burden. Those who seek understanding must accept the cost. Mara asked, cost? What cost?
The visions intensified.
Each crew member saw themselves in impossible futures, worlds destroyed by greed, civilizations thriving because of understanding, lives forever changed by the choices they might make. Lyra whispered, the cost is responsibility. If we take this knowledge back, we must use it wisely or risk everything.
Jalen trembled. It's too much.
How can we carry all of this?
Captain Orion placed a hand on his shoulder.
We survive it.
We learn it.
And we remember that we are only one small part of something infinitely larger. Eno added, cognitive load at maximum. Recommendation: strategic data transfer to ship systems. Preservation of crew integrity essential.
Lyra nodded. Agreed.
We take what we can safely understand, then return. As the crew attempted to extract knowledge from the central core, the cathedral tested them. The echoes intensified into waves that challenged perception, memory, and identity. Time fractured around them. Past and future merged into impossible simultaneity. Myra cried out as sequences of languages and symbols raced through her mind. Lyra felt memories that weren't hers, civilizations born, destroyed, and reborn, flowing into her consciousness.
Jalen panicked briefly. I
can't. My mind is breaking. Captain Orion grabbed him. Focus.
You are here, now.
Breathe, observe, survive. Eno projected stabilizing holograms, attempting to filter the overwhelming resonance. Cognitive harmonics engaged. Crew stability increasing. The cathedral pulsed again. To understand, you must surrender certainty.
To know, you must embrace what cannot be known.
Accept all possibilities, or none shall endure. Lyra closed her eyes, letting the echoes flow through her. She felt herself dissolve into the cathedral's resonance, becoming part of the pattern while remaining herself. Slowly, understanding emerged, not complete, not perfect, but enough to comprehend the vastness and responsibility of the horizon. When she opened her eyes, she realized the crew had endured. They were shaken, but intact. Each carried the weight of knowledge in their minds, a mixture of awe and fear. Captain Orion spoke, voice steady but soft. We have seen the memory of all. We understand, some of it. Now we decide what to do next. After surviving the trial of understanding, the crew of the Horizon Seeker returned to their ship with heavy hearts. The knowledge they carried was vast. Histories of countless civilizations, glimpses of futures both glorious and catastrophic, and the realization that reality itself was far more complex than anything humanity had imagined. Lyra sat in the observation deck, staring out at the quantum horizon. We've seen everything, and yet, we understand so little. Myra placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. Understanding isn't just knowing facts. It's knowing responsibility. The horizon showed us the consequences of choices we haven't even made yet.
Jalen paced the cabin. And if we bring this back?
If humanity gets even a fraction of this knowledge, we could destroy ourselves. Or, we could evolve beyond anything we've ever dreamed. Captain Orion remained silent, looking at the stars folding in impossible patterns outside.
That's why we need to decide carefully. We are custodians now, not conquerors.
The horizon doesn't just give knowledge, it judges how it is used.
Eno's hologram flickered thoughtfully.
Cognitive analysis suggests moral burden may affect decision-making. Recommendation: consult all crew members and establish collective agreement before proceeding.
Lyra nodded. Agreed.
We must understand not just the data, but the consequences of sharing it. Over the next hours, the crew debated. Myra advocated for sharing the knowledge cautiously, using the insights to prevent disaster and advance civilization. Jalen argued for restraint, fearing humanity was not ready for such power. Some things are better left unknown, he said. We could destabilize everything: wars, greed, corruption. It could all end in ruin.
Captain Orion's voice was calm but firm. We can't destroy the knowledge.
That would be as foolish as recklessly giving it away. We must find a balance. Lyra interjected. The horizon gave us a gift, but it also gave us a responsibility.
We can't ignore either.
Perhaps the answer lies in selective understanding, guiding humanity without overwhelming it.
Myra nodded slowly.
We could create a framework.
A system that ensures the knowledge is used wisely. But it must remain protected.
The wrong hands could ruin everything.
Jalen hesitated, then sighed. I see your point.
But it's still terrifying to think we decide the future of millions, perhaps billions of lives.
Eno added.
Analysis confirms probability of misuse remains high. However, structured dissemination with ethical safeguards reduces risk substantially.
Captain Orion concluded. Then it is settled. We proceed cautiously.
Knowledge will be preserved and shared responsibly. As the crew prepared to leave the cathedral, the quantum horizon pulsed once more. The central core projected a final message directly into their minds.
Travelers, you have endured the trial. You have witnessed the memory of all. Now you carry its echoes.
Remember, knowledge is a reflection of responsibility. Every choice creates ripple across existence. Return with care. Lyra felt the weight of the message settle into her consciousness. We've been chosen not for strength, not for courage, but for wisdom.
Myra whispered. And even wisdom is fragile. We must tread carefully.
Jalen muttered. Fragile, that's one way to describe carrying the memory of the universe without going insane.
Captain Orion placed his hands on the console. The horizon has shown us the past, the present, and the possible future.
Now we navigate the one path we can control, the one that leads home. The crew activated the Horizon Seeker's engines, moving slowly through the cathedral and back into the shifting void of the quantum horizon.
Eno monitored the ship.
Navigation within unstable quantum currents remains challenging. Probability of safe exit, 6 to 7%.
Lyra nodded. Then we take it one step at a time. Carefully. Deliberately.
As they journeyed back, the crew reflected on what they had learned. The quantum horizon was not just a repository of memory, it was a living, conscious entity. It recorded civilizations, choices, and consequences. It tested travelers, weighing their hearts and minds before revealing deeper truths. Lyra realized that the horizon had given them more than knowledge, it had given them insight into themselves. Their fears, their hopes, their morality, all had been examined and strengthened. Myra added, it's teaching us humility. We are small in the grand scheme, yet our choices still matter.
Jalen sighed, but a faint smile appeared.
Small, maybe, but powerful. That's something, I suppose.
Captain Orion gazed at the swirling patterns outside the viewport. We are witnesses now. Custodians. Not rulers, not conquerors.
That's the lesson the horizon wants us to remember.
Eno projected a final reading. Quantum fluctuations stabilizing. Exit path from horizon approaching.
Probability of safe return, 81%. Lyra whispered. Then let's go home and hope we are ready for what we carry. The Horizon Seeker began its slow journey back toward familiar space. The quantum horizon stretched behind them like a living tapestry, pulsating with light and memory. Unlike before, the crew moved with purpose, guided by understanding instead of fear. Lyra sat in the cockpit, her hands hovering over the controls. We've learned so much, yet I feel as if we are only seeing the surface of what the horizon contains.
Myra scanned the echoes one last time.
It's giving us what it deems safe. Everything else, we're not ready for yet.
Jalen muttered. Safe. Here? It threw us through temporal shards and memory trials. I call that extreme stress testing. Captain Orion smiled faintly.
Perhaps its idea of safe is different from ours. But we survived, didn't we? Eno's holographic form flickered. Probability of remaining anomalies affecting ship trajectory, 15%. Recommendation: maintain strict adherence to navigational parameters. As the crew followed the exit path, the quantum horizon began to resist. The currents of light and memory twisted violently, creating loops and distortions that threatened to pull the ship back into the shifting void. Hold steady,
Captain Orion shouted.
This is it, the horizon's final test. Lyra's fingers flew over the controls, adjusting shields and engines in precise harmony with the echoes. The ship shuddered as gravitational waves of pure memory washed over it. Myra's console displayed a new pattern, pulsing rapidly. The horizon, it's asking for proof. Proof that we've understood the lessons, not just survived them.
Jalen clenched his teeth.
Proof? How do you prove survival against something like this? Eno replied calmly, cognitive alignment with observed patterns required. Crew must act in unison to demonstrate understanding.
Captain Orion gave a clear command. Everyone, synchronize with the echoes. Trust what the horizon has taught us.
Move as one. The crew closed their eyes, letting the pulses of light and resonance guide their actions. For the first time, the Horizon Seeker moved as part of the quantum horizon, flowing through its currents instead of against them.
The ship stabilized. The distortions calmed.
The exit path opened before them, a corridor of pure light stretching toward the known universe. As the Horizon Seeker accelerated along the exit corridor, distant stars of the solar system began to appear. Earth, Mars, and the colonies shone faintly in the distance.
Lyra let out a long breath.
We're almost home.
Myra's voice was soft.
I can still feel the echoes, lingering.
They are part of us now. Jalen stared at the viewport.
And humanity won't believe us when we tell them what's out there. Captain Orion placed a reassuring hand on Lyra's shoulder. They may not believe.
But knowledge is a seed. It grows when the time is right.
We only need to survive with it, and guide it carefully.
Eno projected the final readings. Quantum horizon exit complete. Ship integrity at 99%.
All systems nominal. Lyra smiled faintly. We did it. We crossed the impossible, and returned. Even as the crew celebrated their safe passage, they knew their lives had changed forever. Each carried fragments of the quantum horizon in their minds, visions, memories, and understanding too vast to fully articulate. Myra whispered, I don't think I'll ever see the universe the same way again. Every star, every planet, it feels alive now.
Jalen chuckled weakly. Alive, and terrifying. I thought I understood the universe before.
I was wrong.
Lyra looked out at the solar system. The horizon didn't just teach us knowledge.
It taught us humility, responsibility, and the fragility of existence.
Captain Orion nodded. We are custodians now. Not rulers. Not conquerors.
We carry the echoes, and it's up to us to use them wisely. Eno added, cognitive integration complete. Crew stability remains high. Mission successful. For a moment, silence filled the ship. It was a silence full of reflection, reverence, and awe. The quantum horizon lay behind them, vast and unknowable, but its lessons lived on within each of them.
Lyra finally spoke.
We've seen the echoes from the quantum horizon. Now we return to share the knowledge we can, and preserve what we must. Humanity is ready, or will be when it needs to be. The Horizon Seeker accelerated toward home, carrying not just explorers, but the memory of all that had been, and all that could be. The Horizon Seeker finally emerged from the quantum horizon into familiar space.
The sun glimmered over Earth, and Mars' red plains stretched below the orbit.
Humanity's colonies sparkled like jewels in the void. For the crew, it was a breathtaking and grounding moment after months of navigating the incomprehensible.
Captain Orion exhaled. Home.
At last. Lyra looked out of the viewport, memories of the Horizon's trials still vivid in her mind.
We carry more than knowledge. We carry responsibility.
Every decision we make now will ripple across humanity. Myra sat quietly, reviewing the resonance data stored in the ship's systems. I've already begun filtering the messages. Only the most crucial lessons should reach the public initially. Humanity isn't ready for everything at once.
Jalen leaned back in his chair.
I still can't believe we survived, let alone made it back with our minds intact. Eno's holographic form projected the summary of their journey. Mission data secure. Probability of knowledge transfer causing destabilization, minimal if handled according to recommended protocols. Upon returning to Earth, the crew reported to the Interplanetary Science Council. The chambers were filled with representatives from all colonies, watching the Horizon Seekers return with equal parts awe and skepticism.
Lyra began her report.
We traveled to the quantum horizon.
We survived its tests.
We encountered a repository of memory that spans civilizations, time, and space. The knowledge we carry is vast, but it is not to be wielded recklessly. A council member interrupted, incredulous.
You speak of a sentient memory field?
How can you prove it? Myra stepped forward, displaying filtered data and echo sequences. We cannot fully prove its consciousness in a way you might expect, but the evidence is clear. The horizon communicates, tests, and guides those who enter it. We have witnessed its effects firsthand.
Another representative frowned.
And the warnings? What did it want from us?
Jalen spoke quietly. It wanted to see if we could understand responsibility, to see if we could survive without destroying ourselves.
And to remind us, we are only one small part of a much larger universe.
Chairwoman Imani leaned forward.
Then you bring knowledge, and with it, the burden of caution. Humanity is at a crossroads. The crew began the delicate process of sharing their findings. They released only the lessons humanity could safely comprehend. The universe is alive in ways science cannot yet fully explain. Knowledge is intertwined with responsibility. Misuse could lead to catastrophe. Civilization is fragile, yet capable of great evolution. Choices ripple across time and space. Every action has consequences. The full depth of the quantum horizon remained hidden, stored securely in the Horizon Seeker systems and only accessible to those trained to comprehend it. Lyra, Myra, Jalen, and Orion became custodians, teaching new generations about the universe's complexity and the ethical use of knowledge. Eno assisted tirelessly, ensuring no fragment of the Horizon's memory was misused or lost. Myra reflected privately, it's like we've been given a key to a door humanity isn't ready to open fully. But one day, it will be ready. Jalen added wryly, hopefully without destroying ourselves first. Months later, the crew gathered on the observation deck of the Horizon Seeker, now docked permanently at the Earth-Mars orbit station. Stars stretched infinitely around them, familiar yet forever changed in their perception. Captain Orion spoke, quiet and reflective. The quantum horizon showed us what it means to truly see. Not just with our eyes, but with our hearts, minds, and morality.
Lyra added, we are small in the grand universe, but our choices matter.
That is the lesson the Horizon wants humanity to learn.
Myra nodded.
And we are not alone. We are part of something far greater, connected to the memory of civilizations across time and space. That connection carries both wonder and responsibility. Jalen smiled faintly. So we live, we learn, we share, and we hope humanity listens.
Eno projected the final reading from the horizon. Memory sequences stabilized.
Probability of safe preservation of all data, 99%. Humanity's future influenced by crew decisions, unknown but promising.
Lyra gazed out at the stars.
The echoes will always be with us. And one day, humanity may hear them too. Years had passed since the Horizon Seeker returned from the quantum horizon. Humanity had advanced, cautiously, guided by the lessons the crew had brought back. Technologies were refined, ethical frameworks were established, and the wonders of the universe were approached with reverence rather than reckless ambition. Lyra Vance stood on the observation deck of the newly built Quantum Research Institute orbiting Mars. The stars stretched endlessly, just as they had when the crew first entered the horizon, but now they carried the weight of understanding.
The horizon changed everything, she said quietly.
Not just for us, but for everyone who will come after. Myra nodded, reviewing data flowing in from the Seeker's preserved archives. We still can't fully comprehend it, but we've ensured that humanity receives the knowledge it can responsibly use. That's all the Horizon ever asked of us. Jalen, now teaching young explorers about quantum ethics and cosmic responsibility, smiled. I never thought surviving the Horizon would make me feel humble and hopeful. Captain Orion, older and wiser, placed a hand on the railing. We were custodians of a memory older than any of us. We carried it safely home. That is our legacy. Though the crew had returned to normal lives, the echoes of the quantum horizon remained within them. Every choice they made, every lesson they taught, carried fragments of the vast repository of memory they had witnessed. Eno's holographic form flickered into view. Analysis confirms that human civilization is gradually integrating knowledge from Horizon archives without destabilization. Probability of sustainable advancement, high.
Lyra smiled. The Horizon didn't just give us knowledge. It gave us perspective.
It taught us that every action has meaning, every memory has weight, and every life contributes to the larger pattern. Myra added, and that understanding, true understanding, comes with patience, humility, and care. Jalen leaned back, gazing at the stars.
So the echoes aren't just warnings or lessons.
They are reminders
that we're part of something bigger.
And that what we do matters. Captain Orion concluded, the quantum horizon is still out there, vast and unknowable. But humanity has begun to listen, to learn, and to respect it. Our mission was never just survival, it was stewardship. The final message from the quantum horizon, recorded and preserved, was never fully decoded by humanity, but its essence had been felt and understood. Travelers of time and space, the memory of existence is entrusted to those who seek not to dominate, but to learn. The universe is vast, fragile, and alive. Carry the echoes wisely. Lyra, Myra, Jalen, and Captain Orion stood together, watching the dawn of a new era for humanity. The stars above seemed to pulse with quiet resonance, reminding them of the lessons learned, the knowledge gained, and the responsibilities entrusted.
The quantum horizon had tested them. It had challenged them.
It had revealed the infinite possibilities of existence. And in the end, it had entrusted humanity with a gift greater than knowledge itself, the understanding that the future is not given, but shaped by the choices we make today. Lyra whispered softly, almost to herself, the echoes will never fade. And neither will we forget. Myra added, and someday, perhaps, humanity will hear them too. The crew watched in silent reverence as the stars shimmered in the endless cosmos. The echoes of the quantum horizon had become part of them, and through them, part of the future.